Supreme Overlord Vanny Vanilla. We have officially reached double digits when it comes to episodes for Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. Another setup episode, but there is a ton to look out for in this one. In this episode, a devious plan is set into action, Suletta realizes something of Miorine, Guel gets a new name, and we're introduced to a new version of Ellen, and also a new faction appears. This is going to be a wild one, comrades, so let's get that spoiler alert out of the way and jump right into this. So we start out in a meeting with Sirius and Cathedra, the governing body who opposes everything Gundam. Sirius wants to press charges against Gundam for using the gun format, but shockingly, Cathedra denies it. He begins to ask the tough questions like, why does Delling keep giving his mobile suit special treatment? Why is it allowed to duel? Why is it Dominicus doing its job in hunting down the witches? I'm gonna assume that Dominicus is like some type of inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Regardless of the response, Cathedra will not change their mind. This is a very interesting turn of events for Sirius and Grassley. Now that he's on the losing end, he is really pushing for the Ariel to be destroyed. Turned away by Cathedra, Sirius takes his leave. Vim was on the ship with Sirius and is in a rather pleasant mood for once. He orders some drinks for a pre-celebration. Pre-celebration for what? The death of Delling. Oh boy, comrades, are we about to get into the dark part of the series? After the opening, we catch up with Suletta tending to Miorine's garden. We've had a time skip of 2 months due to the Ariel being out of commission. Shadiq shows up. I swear, this is becoming a drinking game with him showing up at Miorine's garden. Anyway, so Shadiq shows up to tell Suletta that the duel requests have been piling up since she hasn't been able to duel. He hopes for her to return soon, and Suletta thanks him for making a special arrangement to postpone these duels. Could you imagine if Suletta had to fight in a demi-trainer? This whole series would be going in a different direction if that happened. According to Suletta, Miorine has been away from business for 16 days and 12 hours. I haven't seen this kind of autism since Camille. It really is a sweet thing to see Suletta so happy in this episode. I certainly hope nothing happens to derail this happiness. Choo-Choo suddenly calls Suletta and yells at her for not being with everyone for the prosthetic leg test. Remember how they wanted to use the Gundam to push medical miracles? Well, here's a good example as to how that would look. Suletta sits down on a platform on top of the prosthetic legs and somehow pilots it. Not sure if it's some sort of Neuralink or what, but it works. The legs easily pass through an obstacle course with Suletta riding on top. Sure enough, it looks like with the gun technology, they really can perform medical miracles. So a pretty cute moment happens here. After the successful completion of the test, the group needs to make a new promo video and Suletta was supposed to secure a location to record it. But because she's been busy... Oh. Suletta tells a joke to make everyone laugh. Another off of her little wholesome school life list. Pause here and you can see what else is on this list. Nika takes a peek over her shoulder and asks what's next on the list. Ice Climber Among Us accessories. Suletta wants to share matching accessories. And these little guys are going to be between her and Miorine. Again, this is the happiest and highest point that I've seen Suletta in this series outside of winning duels. Veteran Gundam fans can feel it. Happiness never lasts forever in Gundam. Meanwhile, where has Miorine been? Well, she's been out on business, but she's reporting directly to Delling about the status of Gundam Incorporated. Everything seems to be going well, and even Delling in his own way seems to be supportive of Miorine. He offers her some tips and praises her on how fast the company is growing. Even Miorine, who normally hates her father, is surprised by his words. It's actually nice to see these two have somewhat of a cordial relationship. After the meeting, Miorine meets up with Till and lays eyes on a ship. A big ship. Dare I say, it's Gundam's white base? Kind of blocky looking with no visible armament, so we'll see how this thing manages in the future. Miorine mentions that they need a navigation staff for it, and sure enough, right on cue, the Witch of the Waste shows up along with her partner. I'm kidding. Her name is Feng Jun and his name is Gustan Parch, or Parchi. Not sure what the E's doing there. We haven't seen these two since the second episode. Fang still offers to take Miorina to Earth, because that's what Miorina wanted since episode 1, but Miorina declines. Apparently, leading a company has a lot of responsibilities, so her spare time of wanting to go to Earth is now occupied with Gundam. Miorina asks a question that I've been asking since the first time I saw them. Just who are they? They are a part of the Space Assembly League, a group that investigates the Gundams. That's about all I have on them. I'm sure we'll know in future episodes. We then go back to Shadiq and the Sabina 5 speaking to Sirius. Looks like Vim's plan of wanting to kill Delling is out of the bag. Sirius has little confidence in whatever Vim has planned. Shadiq, however, is in agreement with Vim. If the president is dead, and the holder is one of the Benerit group, their stock plus Gundam will give majority ownership. Even with Suletta currently as the holder, Shinsei does not have enough of a majority rule. That is unlike the others of the big three in the Benerit group. This is a huge power play, and Sirius warns Shadiq if he loses, he will lose his position within Grassley. Shadiq confidently guarantees victory. He has a point. He was very close to defeating the Ariel if not for Choo-Choo's headshot. I'm sure round 2 of Shadiq vs. Suletta will be very soon. As Suletta and the Earthians discuss a place to film for their next promotional video, Petra watches in disgust and curses that if it wasn't for Suletta, Guel would still be the holder. Not even Lauda knows where his own brother is. Speaking of our beloved spiraling Guel, where is he? Remember how Vim said that he had a position for him at a subsidiary? Well, now he's working as a deckhand on a ship. Not only that, he goes by Bob. Just when you think you can't get any lower, Guel finds a way. Poor guy is now called Bob. The ship he's working for has a job to do for the Benerit group, a cargo run to a factory called Plant Keta. One single ass slap has changed this man's life forever. But don't feel too bad for him. You'll see later on. So here is a first for the series. We finally get to see what Earth looks like. It is just like you could have imagined. Deteriorated, abandoned, ruined buildings covered with overgrown plants. It's like Fallout without the desert. Inside an abandoned school, we see a girl walking down these ghostly halls. Wherever they are, they really went through some stuff. Look at all of this. So the girl meets up with another girl watching the Gundam promo video. Their names are Sophie and Norea. Sophie is irritated at the video, saying it makes a mockery of Gundams. These two will be very important by the end of this episode. Norea calls for a man named Naji who is tending to... Yep, you guessed it, a garden. So many gardens in this anime. Shadiq is on the other line calling Naji, and he is surprised that he isn't using the go-between. Shadiq wants Naji to make a move and attack Delling at Plant Keta. Naji knows the risk in this operation. It's a huge Benerit group stronghold, but Shadiq affirms that the patrol fleet around the base is under Jaturk control. Vim wants Delling dead just as much as everyone else does, so he won't be an issue. Naji agrees to this under one condition. He needs a flight route and a ship for them. After Shadiq ends the call, he comes out of the room and tells Nika that Naji says hi. This solves the mystery of Nika just a little bit. She's clearly being used as a liaison between Shadiq and Naji. There has to be a motive behind this, but for now, we wait. Miorina is then seen on TV doing an interview, and the members of Gundam are watching it. Ohello mentions that Miorina is beyond them, meaning she's growing apart from them. She is the thoroughbred and they are the weeds, grazing on their hard work for her own benefit. Ohello kinda has a point. He even says Miorina will grow beyond Suletta. How foreshadowing. Later on, Suletta was with Belmeria working on the prosthetic legs. We get a little insight with Belmeria that she enjoys helping Gundam despite working for Pale, mainly because of her passion for medical advancement with the gun format. But then again, all of this is briefly brushed away when Belmeria tried to ask about what exactly happened in that previous fight with Grassley House. You know, Super Aerial Blue? But before we can get that question answered, Suletta gets a notification to check on Miorina's garden. I was really hoping to get an answer for what exactly happened with the Ariel, but we'll just have to be patient. On her way to Miorina's garden, we hear a familiar voice. Like a creepy stalker, Ellen Saris has returned. Though this Ellen is much more different than any other Ellen we've seen so far. Bright-eyed and with a big smile, new uniform, this Ellen is much more forward than both real Ellen and dead Ellen. He calls Suletta cute after watching the Gundam promo video, and of course she's gonna blush. Ellen then makes a move and holds Suletta by the chin. He is really turning on the charm, a little too much. He asks her out on a date, and that really throws Suletta off. She asked what about Miorina, and he asked her wasn't that all a lie? He goes on to say everyone is gossiping that Suletta is nothing more than a shield so Miorina can avoid to get married. They could end up married in name, but there is no love behind it. He then turns the creepy meter up to maximum and tries to kiss her. My goodness, comrades, we almost had a JoJo reference there. Like I said, this new Ellen is a whole different breed, and this only is confirmed just seconds later. Nugen declares that they want to get the aerial, and they have no reason to challenge it in a duel. With Pale and Gundam as allies, they are even closer than ever to make this happen. Real Ellen asks why Nugen chose this new enhanced person to play the part. Nugen coldly responds with, he has a personality as wicked as yours. Clearly we saw that when he tried to kiss Suletta. The heartbreak is going to be real when Suletta finds out the truth about Ellen. Suletta finally arrives at Miorina's garden. She thinks the worst has happened in the garden when she sees two strangers inside. She thinks they were taking care of Miorina's garden, which is what she was supposed to be doing and no one else. Lo and behold, Miorina was already there at the back of the garden. She's back early from business because she bought that ship. Miorina hired some farm workers to take care of the garden because Miorina's business trips are going to be more and more frequent. Suletta is troubled that she was given a task that she thought was very important to Miorina, but now it's been taken away from her. Miorina asked if Suletta ran into Ellen, but Suletta is as honest as ever. She mentions that Ellen asked her out on a date, but Miorina could care less and says go ahead and go out on a date. Because Pale and Gundam are partners, Ellen is going to be Suletta's colleague, so she sees it as getting along would be a necessity. She also says to not duel Ellen. Because of his experience as a pilot, Miorina decided to hire him. Now Suletta is no longer the only tester. Miorina thinks that she's doing Suletta a favor, but this news is too much for Suletta to handle. She asks if she doesn't need to be here anymore, and Miorina agreed, rather than seeing the visible pain in her friend. She just assumes Suletta's feelings and leaves her alone in the dark of her garden. Suletta drops the two charms that her and Miorina were going to have. I have been saying this since day one, since the beginning of their supposed relationship. Miorina does not care for her. Suletta is just her golden ticket. Now, of course, we're only 10 episodes in, and a lot can happen to change this around. Miorina is a... Now, watch as I say this, that they'll make up with each other in the next episode. Nearing the end of the episode, we make it to what I would assume is Plant Keta. Delling, Rajan, and an associate exit an elevator, and ahead of them is none other than Lady Prospera herself, who she says has been waiting for Delling. What a cliffhanger, but wait! We've got ourselves a stinger in this one. We go back to Guel and his new position as a deckhand. You see, it's not so bad for him on the ship. He's a part of a team and they treat him with respect, something he had to fight for back at the school. This is the first time that I've seen a genuine smile come from him. Biggest character development so far. Maybe this is where the spiral ends.
Wrong!
Mobile suits are approaching their vessel, and we get to see the two mysterious Gundams from the opening, the Lefurth and the Lefurth Thorn, piloted by Sophie and Norea. The look on Guel's face shows he knows exactly what these things are. Shadik's intentions are then made clear. He wants to break up the Benneret group with the help of these Earthians who call themselves the Dawn of Fold. Wow, what an episode this was, comrades. A lot of setting up for a huge fight that's coming very soon. I have a feeling Sophia and Norea are going to gleefully kill anyone in their path. The duels are not completely off the table, but I have a feeling we will be transitioning to a more bloody conflict very soon. As much as this episode answered a lot of questions, I am still left with even more questions. With Suletta, Norea, and Sophie all being confirmed witches, are witches only women? What exactly is Shadik planning to do once Delling is assassinated? Does Lady Prospera even know about these two Gundams? Oh, and to all the Guel haters out there from episode 1 who are now jumping on the Guel bandwagon, shove off. I've been behind Guel since day 1. He is going to go far in this. He might not get the girl, but he is going to have a redemption like no other. Anywho, comrades, that's the video. Please let me know what you think down below. What are your thoughts on Earth and the Dawnfold? What's going to be the kill count in the next couple of episodes? And will we see a new Suletta going forward? I can't express how much I'm really enjoying this series. As a Gundam fan, it would be a huge disservice to dismiss it solely based on some awful Twitter fans. This series has been worth every minute, and I cannot wait for the next episode, The Witches from Earth. Oh, and of course you can't forget my shameless plug. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, Vanny.vanilla.v3. I read every comment on these videos, and I know some of you can be shy and not post something in public, so just DM me. My DMs are always open. Until next time, comrades, bye! Congratulations, you made it to the end. The cringe is over, unless you want more. Do it. Click those videos in the box. Do it. Do it.